Welcome back. We are on the 10 counts. Wavy Plus's only show about professional wrestling. I'm your host, Jeff Snyder, once again in the captain's chair. John Eldridge, Wavy digital producer.
Hey, everybody.
Once again, you're here. It's good to have you here again. So, you know what? It's a pretty slow week for the most part. I know SmackDown's gonna be at in Norfolk, but that's we're not gonna be able to talk about that because it hasn't happened yet.
Yep. Unfortunately.
But again, if you guys go to that show, just let us know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about ourselves today. I mean, we're talking about why we became wrestling fans, what's brought us in, what made us stop watching for a while, what made us, come back in and kind of keep reignite the passions that we have for this.
Right.
So, John, I'm a little bit older than you.
Yes.
About 10 years, I think.
Yeah, that's about right.
So, I'm 34 years old. So when I was growing up, that would have been peak Attitude Era time. And, I would watch wrestling every once in a while at like my cousin's house.
Right.
Because I wasn't allowed to watch wrestling because my mom thought it was evil. And she was kind of right. But
in the Attitude Era, definitely.
and yeah, like looking back now, like I'll get into this later, but looking back now, I'm like, okay, Mom, I see what you're getting at here. But so I'd watch at my cousin's house. I'd play the video games. I had a WWF Warzone for PlayStation. Had a Stone Cold on the cover. The game sucks.
Yeah,
it's not a good game at all, but it did have a fun create a wrestler mode, and you kind of worked your way to the championship.
That's what really matters.
Yeah. And you worked your way to the championship. So I learned at least a few wrestlers like that, like, Stone Cold, Undertaker's in the game, Shawn Michaels, Mankind, all versions of Mick Foley, actually, if you know how to unlock them. But the game never told you how to unlock them. You just got to get them by accident. The DX. And it was funny because like Hunter was in his Hunter Hearst Helmsley tights instead of his DX tights. So he's like, got the nice braid going on, giving an old crotch chop. So, Goldust was in the game. Who else was in that? Oh, the Headbangers. I thought the Headbangers would be like the coolest tag team ever. Now they kind of suck. So I think one day I had Raw on for some reason. This is 1999, August of 1999. And The Rock is cutting a promo in the ring. And all of a sudden, a countdown clock comes onto the old Titantron, as it was known then, because it was WWE's parent company was Titan Sports.
Right.
It's counting down to the millennium. The millennium is here. Like, JR's like, what's this? And then King's like, oh my God, JR's here. And like King's like selling this so hard. I'm like, who could this possibly be that this is such a big deal? So countdown goes down. And then you hear this song, and then you see the words Jericho on the Titantron, and this guy doing this pose with his ponytail, with his like little ponytail, and his sparkly jacket, and he's there to confront The Rock. And I thought that was just the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Because it was.
It was really, really cool. Because I didn't know it at the time. Like I didn't know who Chris Jericho was. I would dabble in WCW. But I didn't know who the guy was. I'm like, wow, they're making this guy seem like this is the greatest thing ever. That they signed this awesome wrestler that's gonna be in the main event scene. And I thought that was cool. I mean, I was thinking like in those words back then. I think, oh, cool, the music and the lights and stuff.
His Titantron does all the flashies.
And then they start talking smack to each other. And then The Rock does the old, it doesn't matter what your name is.
Buries him 10 minutes after he debuts.
Yeah, typical Dwayne.
Rock.
Yeah. And I'm just like, all right, this is cool. Let's see what else was going on here. I think I watched the rest of the show. And, I think the next time I went to my cousin's house, hey, I watched the Jericho thing. That was so cool. And he's like, yeah, man, it was awesome. And then like when we'd have sleepovers and stuff, on Saturday nights at midnight, I would say, on WUAB Channel 43 in Cleveland, the UPN affiliate at the time. If you remember UPN, you don't.
No.
You don't.
I'm sorry.
You don't remember UPN.
I don't remember UPN.
Okay. United Paramount Network. It was a broadcast channel. which is now RCW.
Right.
So there was a show called WWF Jacked. It was,
I remember the name.
it was a like C show. And when I say C show, I mean like an F show.
Right.
It was basically, there'd be like three matches that they filmed before Raw, and they would use that for Jacked. I think it was called Metal in different markets too. And we watched WWF and we see like all the jobbers and like be like, this is so cool. Like
those were some of the funnest matches, honestly.
We'd see like Perry Saturn and like Haku.
I bet that Perry Saturn was on it a lot.
Perry Saturn was on it a lot. And Moppy was on there a lot. Actually, Perry Saturn stiffed the guy so hard on an episode of Jack that's how he got the Moppy gimmick, because he retaliated a guy. He went, I shouldn't say he went Raj on a guy. I mean, he hit him hard, but he didn't try to kill him.
Right.
And that's how he ended up with the Moppy gimmick, because they were trying to embarrass him.
Right.
It ended up working out being his most popular gimmick, I think. And Perry Saturn was cool back then.
He was always cool.
And we would watch WWF Jack. We played WWF No Mercy on the Nintendo 64. So I guess I would have been like 9 years old, 10 years old when that game came out. Still the best wrestling video game of all time. And, and I keep watching through the Invasion storyline, which even 11-year-old me thought was bad. And watched through the Ruthless Aggression through Paul Heyman's SmackDown 2002, 2003. Some of the best television ever. That was also on UPN. And I just kept going with it, and then I get to high school.
Yeah.
Watching wrestling is not really cool in high school. Right. Maybe back then. Maybe now it's like really cool because, everyone's got different interests and, kids are like more accepting of things. So like I would watch on and off. And I remember 2007, July of 2007, maybe it was June 2007. Turn on an episode of Raw thinking, because this was like the whole McMahon had, died in a limo accident.
Right.
When the limo had been bombed and McMahon had been assassinated.
Right.
And I go to watch this and I'm like, why is there a Chris Benoit match from like 2003 on here?
Yeah.
And then I see the bug in memory of Chris Benoit. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What happened? So, but this is before social media was like a real thing. This is like forums were a thing. But it's like, okay, like, so I go on to a news website, probably, CNN, NBC, Fox, something substantial. And you see Chris Benoit found dead with his wife and son. And you're like, oh my God, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Chris Benoit had been on a great run. He'd been on, he'd been the world heavyweight champion.
One of the best wrestlers, period, during that time frame.
Yeah. And he main evented at the time the best WrestleMania ever, WrestleMania 20, which you can't even talk about anymore. Right. We're talking about Eddie Guerrero, but you don't get to see the hug at the end. And so it comes out what happened to Chris Benoit, what Chris Benoit did,
right?
The abhorrent things that he did to his wife and his son, and eventually himself,
right? And
just the coverage around it, and then like the wellness policy stuff. It just left 16-year-old me had a really bad taste in my mouth. So I stopped watching for a while.
Right.
And then I took a few years off, and then I'm in college. So this would be this probably my sophomore year of college. So this would have been 2010, 2011. And I'm just bored one day. So I'm just like, I just start like, what was really cool? The Attitude Era. So I just start watching stuff on YouTube. YouTube used to be, back in the day, everybody. YouTube was like the Wild West.
Yeah.
You could find anything on there. You can still find anything. You can
still find a lot on there, but not as much as you used to.
It wasn't just full of like creators and like they were there.
Right.
There were creators and stuff and influencers and all that stuff, but that was still in its infancy.
Yeah, it was a different era.
Yeah, they hadn't gotten the millions and millions of fans that they had gotten. Some people did,
right,
but not to the extent it is now. there's all these old matches. I'm like watching old Bret Hart matches. I'm watching old Stone Cold matches. I'm watching Rock matches. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just watch wrestling again? Not knowing what it had become.
Yeah, you picked a bad time, brother.
Yeah, so this is like mid Smack Dab PG era. And I'm like watching this and I'm like, this is actually awful.
Yeah.
It's so bad I can't look away. And like, I remember that year's WrestleMania was 27, regarded as like one of the worst ever, probably like bottom 3, with that main event with Miz, who love Miz, Cleveland guy.
Yep, love Miz.
And Cena, because, you know, the McMahon's like, oh, we got to have celebrities, prop. We got to have celebrities, pal. So I think Snooki was at that WrestleMania too.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. That was back when Jersey Shore was a thing. And then Dwayne gets involved in the match. I'm like, oh my God, this is so dumb. This is beyond stupid. I'm going to keep watching. And then we did get cool stuff later that year with the Money in the Bank. That year was one of the best Money in the Banks ever, with CM Punk taking the belt and leaving the company. And it was really cool. And then I watched for quite a few years straight. I think like maybe 7 years straight, up until like the pandemic.
Right.
I was just locked in, and I saw some great stuff. 2016 SmackDown, 2017 SmackDown was great. 2017, 16, 17 Raw was great. And then we get to like 2019, and you know what? I think you're going to have the same idea, so I'm going to skip what I'm going to say about it. But like the pandemic and no crowds and all that stuff kind of just took me out of it.
Right.
And I didn't really start watching regularly again. I don't watch Raw and SmackDown weekly, guys. Like I just don't have time for that.
I did last year, but nowadays.
Yeah, it just feels like filler.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I do watch all the PLEs for the most part. I do watch AEW's pay-per-views. And if there's a special event like Wrestle Kingdom or you know, Triple Mania, I'll watch that.
Right.
But now it's kind of where I'm at now. Yeah, and I'm hosting this show.
I've been about the same.
And you know, I've been on other podcasts before. Nothing like this, nothing this elaborate.
Right.
Although shout out to my boys Jay and Bobby, the brainless one, as we call them. They used to do one every week for many years, and they decided to just kind of do it once in a while at the beginning of this year. So
right.
But that kind of prepared me for this. Right. And here I am now. So, John.
Yes.
I rambled for 13 minutes about my life as a wrestling fan. How did you get your start?
Well, I first saw things about it, like you said, on YouTube, because I was always infatuated with the Royal Rumble the first time I ever saw that. And I saw a ton of those on like WWE 12. And then I had always heard things about it. Then I had a wrestling fan that I was a friend with in middle school. So then the first Raw I ever tuned into was in 2014. The Raw The Shield broke up, and that hooked me. That hooked me hook, line, and sinker until that's a good one. For like 2 years straight, basically, because I loved everything Rollins was doing at that time. I loved Ambrose. My mom watched too. She was a big Dean Ambrose fan. Really?
Your mom watched with you? So the opposite of my mom.
Still does.
Oh, that's so cool.
She's a massive Seth Rollins fan now.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. That's
she watches WWE with me, AEW. So she's excited for the Darby and Moxley coffin match.
See, that's so cool that your mom, that's something you and your mom can share. Like this was never something my parents really cared about.
Because it'd be great, because in my current role, it would be like when I'm at work and I can't really watch a pay-per-view, you know, that she can fill me in and let me know what's going on. It's just a nice way for us to connect. But yeah, so we kind of had the same feelings going through, because I watched from about 2014 until, I don't remember exactly when I stopped. It was probably early 2017. It was during the Big Dog Roman era, which I was not a fan of. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because WrestleMania 32, outside of the fantastic women's match, was bad.
That was a terrible WrestleMania. They're like, this is the biggest WrestleMania of all time, pal.
Outside of the Women's Revolution triple threat, that was like, the rest of that event was not good. And then my interest kind of waned from there. It waned, yeah, literally. But yeah, after that, I didn't watch wrestling very much again until, And I heard of AEW and I was interested by it, but I never really watched it fully. I only got back into wrestling in 2023.
Okay, so this is 2 years ago.
Yep.
All right.
And that was the Survivor Series because we were just randomly on Peacock one day. It seems to be like you get back into wrestling just on random. It seems.
Yeah,
like.
You just turn it on one day, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It used to be you
Exactly.
flip for the channels. Now you got to flip your streaming
Now
services.
it was Survivor Series 2023. It was the we only tuned in to see the final match, which was Cody, Rollins, Orton's return, and someone else. I don't remember. Sami Zayn, and I don't remember who the other one was, versus the Judgment Day. And then that was the event that Punk returned at the end at, and CM Punk's my favorite wrestler, was back then, because I went back and I watched the Pipe Bomb, I watched the Money in the Bank match. I basically watched the entire Summer of Punk during my first run.
So cool.
Yeah. So when Punk returned, I didn't know if I was going to stick with it. I thought Cody being there was all cool and stuff because I knew about what happened with AEW and all that. And like I kind of, grasped some of that, like how AEW was cool, and then people were kind of going back and forth between the two. And then when Punk returns, I didn't know he was in AEW at the time. Before I thought this was like his first time, coming back, period.
Okay.
But
you had not heard about the Jack Perry incident?
No, I had not.
What a
And
time
then-
that was.
Yeah. But yeah, him just coming back, basically, like I said, hook, line, sinker. And, now's another time where, WWE's kind of, it's not bad, but it's
not as good as
it's not as good as it was in 2024, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's
So that's why I'm kind of experimenting more with watching more AEW now. And they're, it's fine. Both companies are doing their own thing and they're cool, but every company can have a good match. It's just, a matter of, how things are built up and how things go. But yeah, overall,
that's your background there.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved playing wrestling games. WWE 2K13, I played like at least 500 hours of. Probably.
Is that the one with Brian on the cover? Or is that the one that had Dwayne on the cover and then
That was the one
reversed to Brian?
before. It was the one before Dwayne.
Oh.
I don't remember who was on the cover.
Cena?
Of that one.
Or no, or was it Rey Mysterio when he had to beat his kids?
No,
At the
it wasn't
game.
Rey Mysterio.
At the game.
At the game.
He tweeted he was gonna he couldn't wait to beat his kids at the game.
At the game. Right. No, I don't remember who was on the cover of that one. But yeah, Rock was on 2K14, which I also played a lot.
Yeah. They had the reversible cover where you could put Daniel Bryan on it, which
right.
I thought that was kind of a nice touch because
Right.
that was like during like the whole
Yes movement, yeah.
the Yes movement and how the man was trying to keep Bryan down, but he's actually the real star of the show.
Right.
Yeah, that was a good time. I was really hooked during that Yes movement. I was really, really into wrestling. Like I was really, really into it. Like we would go. It got to the point where like it's kind of like the first time in a long time I felt wrestling transcended into the culture because we were at a baseball game in Pittsburgh, and the Pirates were actually good. I'm not a Pirates fan, but like I went to school near there,
Right.
and I lived there for a little bit. And the Pirates were actually good then.
Right.
That's like the 3-year window where they were actually a very good team and very watchable and could have made a run to the World Series if
Right.
their cards fell right. And I just remember I look over and I see this group of big meaty dudes just going, yes, yes, yes. Like at everything that happened during the game.
Yeah.
Including the streaker that ran down the field. So we actually talk about that on Sports Wrap Overtime maybe a couple months back when we talked about some of the best sporting events we've ever been to. That was one of them. Because it went 14 innings, and you just got 14 innings of yes, yes. It turns out I found out those big meaty men were members of the Edinburgh football team in my college, and I was their play-by-play guy. So that was really funny
That's
to
awesome.
make that connection.
Yeah, I experienced the same stuff though. Like, it's pretty big in pop culture. I mean, the Woe from Cody's theme song.
Yeah.
Cult of Personality played for Kyle Schwarber. That's one of his walk-up songs.
Well, even AJ Lee, her song was playing at Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
I know Punk is a huge Cubs fan, and so is she because of him.
Yeah, they throw out a ton of first pitches. And then, like when Vegas, I've actually got my Vegas WrestleMania shirt on today, but when we were in Vegas, I saw one guy in an LA Knights shirt. I said, yeah.
Yeah?
And then like 5 other guys went, yeah. That was on the Hoover Dam.
That's awesome. I've been to the Hoover Dam. Went there a couple years ago. My feet were so torn up from walking.
Yeah, no, it's
because my friend, she was
longer than you'd think.
Because my friend, she's like, we're gonna walk the entire strip. The strip is like 5 miles long, dude.
Yeah,
and we spent the entire day just walking in and out of casinos and stuff. My feet were so torn up.
That was the same for me. Exact same for me. And I wore my bad shoes that day.
Yeah, and I doubled my socks up and everything, and just didn't. My feet were just blistered.
Yeah,
it's not like I don't walk places. Of course I do, but like
it's a different
kind of place, and it's dry.
Like everything in media makes you think it's walkable. It's not.
It's not. Oh God, no. Well, because you always get the aerial shot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You get the aerial shot from.
They call it a strip. That doesn't sound too big.
No,
but man, it's very, very big.
No, yeah, you can walk Fremont Street.
With all the intersecting pathways that you have to go across Vegas. You know what I'm talking about, because there's like the sky bridges and a whole bunch of little windy paths you have to do to get around everything, and it's. I don't know how this turned into a Vegas rant, but
well, because WrestleMania was in Vegas,
right? Exactly.
Yeah, and they will not.
And I was there, and it was it was fine.
Weren't they? So I don't want to date this, but like I think it was this week that WWE announced they're going to go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, for 33.
For 43.
Yeah, 43. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're going back to Vegas.
They're going back. Yeah. So are we just going to alternate Vegas into Saudi Arabia now? That's what it feels like. I don't want that. So
disappointed, man.
Yeah, I know. At least we'll be out at a reasonable time when it's in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Guess we got that.
That's right. Yeah. You're not wrong about that. But it's like who can both either afford and want to go to that? You know what I mean?
Rich people.
Yeah. Then that's TKO's audience.
Apparently TKO is targeting people a little more grub in pocket.
Did you see the president was like, oh, Vince did too good of a job marketed to families. He didn't take this to the fullest extent he could have. And I was like, wow.
Dude.
Wow.
It just seems like these leagues and shows and brands and stuff. Because even Adam Silver from the NBA was just like, because the NBA is on like 7 different streaming services now.
Yeah.
And Adam Silver's like, well, it's okay. We're a highlight-based league anyway. You could just watch for free on YouTube. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? What is wrong with you? Like, you're really milking this much money out of these streaming services and you're just leaving the casual fan behind? That's what's happening with WWE as well.
And NFL.
Yeah, it's in the NFL. Well, I mean, people will find a way to watch the NFL. Well, yeah, I mean, it's the NFL.
Yeah.
But like when Adam Silver said that the other day, I immediately thought like, oh my God, TKO started like this horrible trend.
Yeah.
That we're just going to not care. Like tickets for the Norfolk SmackDown, last check with an obstructed view, $81. Yeah.
For an episode of SmackDown.
For an episode of SmackDown in 2025.
In 2025.
No, absolutely not, guys. Like I was going to go, but I'm priced out. Because I'm got to go to an NFL game this year. So it is what it is, but
a Browns game,
which is still more expensive than that. It's going to be in Baltimore. It's fine. They're actually good, so they can charge prices like that. Man.
Yeah.
Well, we just want to give you guys a little bit of background on us and just kind of shoot a little bit on ourselves. And
I'm ashamed I missed some of the really good stuff of the late 2010s, though, like Kofi Mania and Brian's return and all that.
Those are cool.
And the NXT's golden age, obviously.
Oh man, that could be another episode altogether. Like we can really get into eras.
It's really cool how many people are coming back to NXT. Did you see this week's episode?
Dude, Tyler Breeze is back.
I know.
What?
DIY is gonna have a match. Carmelo's back. Man, this is awesome.
I'm so excited. Yeah. So we honestly, like, this kind of like sets a base though. Like in the future, we're going to we'll do episodes on specific eras that we remember and specific things in the past that we enjoyed or maybe didn't enjoy.
Right.
But we just wanted to get this out of the way and be like, hey, just what's your background on this a little bit? So, all right. Well, I think we're done, man.
Yep.
So, for John Eldridge, I am Jeff Snyder. This has been the 10 Count. We will see you again next time.
Bye.